right, I understand we have attorney Ven Johnson standing by for us. He is representing the families of some of the victims in these civil cases. Ven, can you hear me?
Hi, Kenshin. How are you guys?
We're doing well. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Your
Pleasure.
initial reaction after hearing this latest guilty verdict?
Well, I was at the courthouse all day and left, unfortunately, shortly before the verdict. But just to be there with my clients, this means so much to them, as you guys know. They've been through so much, and just another step forward in the process. This is a huge relief, quite candidly. It feels like 3 for 3, the 3 folks, the shooter and his parents, being held accountable and responsible. It feels, good, but it's certainly nothing to celebrate in the sense that it doesn't bring back their loved ones, nor does it change the lives of those who are going to live with this tragedy every day for the rest of their life. But it is justice, and now they're ready for steps 4 and 5, y'all, in the civil case, where they expect that further we can go forward and hold the people accountable at the Oxford Community Schools that absolutely played a role in this as well.
Yeah, Vin, the last we spoke, you mentioned making sure that you hold everyone accountable that you can in this tragedy, everyone who could have prevented it. What are your next steps moving forward?
Well, Terrence, great question. We're still in the Michigan Court of Appeals in our state case, where we'll be arguing sometime this year. The hearing date has not been established yet, but we'll obviously share that with you folks and the public. And then likewise in the federal case, the case pending in federal court is down in the Cincinnati in the 6th Circuit Court of Appeals, one step below the United States Supreme Court. That likewise will be an argument this year that we'll share with everybody. So 2 different fronts, so steps 4 and 5, but yet it's a consistent theme, you guys, and I know we've talked about this, but my clients from day one, everyone, every entity, every person, everyone who played a role in allowing this tragedy to unfold and exist, and not to prevent it when it was certainly preventable, should be held accountable, and that's exactly what they're insisting on tonight, with a huge sigh of relief that step 3 in the criminal process is guilty.
Yeah, of course, we will be standing by in next month when we expect sentencing to begin for Jennifer and likely James as well. Do you have any thoughts, or have you spoken with your clients about what they're hoping to see at that sentencing hearing?
Well, Rick knows this much better than me. He's a great criminal lawyer. I'm just a civil lawyer. But obviously, from my client standpoint, Shane, it's going to be they want the maximum for their the loss of their loved one, and for the folks that have loved ones that live with this tragedy every day. So that's what they're going to want. And then obviously Judge Matthews is a great judge, very thoughtful, and will think about it and be able to make her decision. And they're going to respect the justice that Judge Matthew imposes.
Then any comments from you on some of the testimony that you've heard in both of these trials for both James and Jennifer?
You know better than ask me an open-ended question like that. Come on. I mean, when I heard Hopkins and Ejack again, every time they testified to something different. Now there was no even suicide concern, according to Hopkins the other day. And as Rick Convertino knows this better than anybody. The more these folks are allowed to testify under oath, the easier my job is later on. But what we're hoping under Michigan state law is to have that day in court, because right now we don't have that day. We need to have the Michigan Court of Appeals reverse the trial court and get us back in, so that my clients can have their day in court, just like the criminal defendants had their day in court. Let the civil defendants, let them fend for themselves in front of a jury. But my clients deserve their day in court too, and that's what we don't have in Michigan civil law as it relates to governmental immunity. So stay tuned, y'all. Lots to come.